Connor from the Orange team to do a presentation for Chapter 11 from the textbook on submersibles and aquatic robotics on operations. And this week I'm working on typing up operations and emergency procedures for when we're at the pool.
So this week I worked on Chapter 6 with Sydney for the presentations. Me and Colby worked a lot on the camera mount, which is getting printed right now, and I'm really looking forward to the pool test this Friday.
Okay, so I had hydraulics and payload and stuff like that. It was a pretty simple chapter. I had a lot of prior knowledge about it. As far as like how that ties into like our actual sub, it would be more of like adding extra weight and stuff like that to the sub, how we can compensate for that. And if we were going to add like an arm to the sub, eventually that would be a lot of the hydraulics and stuff like that.
So last week I worked on Chapter 1, which was underwater vehicles with Jack. And this week I have been researching the site of the splash test.
Okay, so this week and last week I worked on the Chapter 3 presentation, which was working in water with Alacia. And I also helped with the ConOps flowchart, and I'm worried about getting to the splash site and the sub not working.
This week and last week I worked on Chapter 8, which is Power Systems with Andy from the Orange team. I also had to resolder a bridge cable to fit into an acrylic tube, and I learned that not everybody's going to know how to do each job when it comes to our first splash test.
So I worked on Chapter 7 with Nate. It was all about motors and how the sub was going to move. And I also helped with the coding and getting everything inside both tubes.
I worked on Design Toolkit Chapter 2 with Dayton Jung this week, and I've also been doing the camera controls. And my biggest worry is that when we actually get into the drop, into the water, that all the controls are going to be backwards.
Okay, this week and last week I worked on presentations for the class with Ramya on Orange team, and we did Chapter 12, which is the non-existent chapter about underwater archaeology. And then this week I'm mainly working on the ConOps, getting that ready for Friday, and I'm really excited to actually go and see our sub work.
I worked on Chapter 9 with Tony. It was on control and navigation. Learned a lot about how we're going to figure out where the sub's going. This week I worked on soldering all the connections between the tether and the sub and the camera and the sub.
Alright, so this week I worked on Chapter 4, Structure and Materials with Pa Say on the other team. And also this week I made a bracket for mounting 2 tubes on the sub. And I've also been working on the planning for the ops for doing the splash test on Friday.
Okay, so we have our first pool test on Friday, so we've been doing a lot to get ready for that. We all presented chapters this week with a partner from the other team from a underwater ROV textbook. So I presented Chapter 5, which was pressure canisters and holes with Robbie. So we got that done. It was helpful, I guess. We ended up just putting them on Blackboard. But we also, I helped, because I'm the project manager, I kind of like split up, made sure everybody had something to do to help us get ready for Friday, because we kind of have to have everything completely ready by Thursday, because there's going to be no time on Friday. So I have someone making like a really detailed plan so we can go over it. I know exactly what's going to happen on Friday. We have to finish getting our sub ready, so we have to work, most of the work has been on the camera, especially this week. Like, we'll be working on that today and tomorrow. Making like a mount for it, making sure it can move, and luckily we got our stuff, all of our wires to fit in the tube. It's a little cramped, but it's good, so we should be looking really good for Friday for our test.